Hi all, I'm Rishabh. Welcome to the data stuff. In the yesterday's video, we covered our first RDD transformation, which was map. So just to summarize, map as a transformation takes a function which is defining your logic that you want to apply on your RDD, and map then goes and applies that function on each and every record of the RDD. So that is the short summary, and this is the code. So what we did in this code, we read a file bostonhousing.csv. We parallelize it after removing the first row. The first row was header, so we removed that row, and then we used that list that we created after removing the header to create a new RDD. That was our second RDD. And after that, what we did, we removed the serial number, because in the CSV every record had a serial number. We do not need serial number because that is not going to add any value to our data, so we removed that using the third line. And here we applied a map on our RDD2, which is actually saying that for each and every record of the RDD2, just pick the string from the fourth, that is 0 1 2 3 4, I think, yeah, fifth index and fourth index position, you can say that. And after that, what we did, we splitted the string that we got into RDD3 on the comma. So that was the final output that we got. So this is the way it looked. We had a nested list, and each list in this parent list is one record. So you have all these values, and after that you have to convert these values to the corresponding data type and go ahead with your further transformations. So in short, map applies transformations that you give as functions on the RDD. Now today we are going to look at another transformation which is known as filter transformation. So the filter transformation is applied to filter out the rows that you don't want from the RDD. So filter transformation takes a function, and that function will be applied on each and every RDD record, and once that record is satisfying that condition. So the basic difference between map and filter is that both take function, but in the filter, function should return a boolean value. It should not be like a simple function. It will be a function that is going to give either true or false. So when you apply a filter on the RDD, that filter function that we are passing will be passed and evaluated against each and every record of the RDD by filter transformation, and all those records which are satisfying the condition will be the part of the next RDD. That is going to be the output in this case. So let me just go through the code, and then you will be able to understand better. So again, what we are doing, we are taking one of the training data sets that Databricks has provided to us, and in this training data set we have the country values. So ISO country lookup.csv is the name of the file, and it is inside ISO country codes. So let me go to that particular folder just to show you. So you have to go to mount. In the mount, you have to confirm your cluster. Wait for some time. Okay, okay, let me just go back again. Okay, in training, you have to go to countries, ISO country codes, and you have to take this one, copy path, Spark API format we are picking up. Now we have to go back to our notebook. Okay, inside notebook, what we did, we called a text file API on top of Spark context, and we pass this path. Now if you see RDD1 dot first, or let me take the first 10 records. So if you want to take first n records, you can take, you can use dot take action. We'll come to the action part later, but right now if you want to take first n records, you can just do like rdd dot take and then pass that n number, whatever it may be. So if you see again, we have how many, like we have 10 records. And again we are facing the same problem like I discussed in the starting of the video. In the map transformation, what we did, we collected the RDD's records and we converted into list, then removed the first record, and after that we parallelize it to convert it back to RDD. Now this particular step is not very efficient. So for example, if you have 5 6 GB of data, and that file if you want to collect, it is going to be very heavy on the client node, and it may go out of memory. Okay, so here the file is small, that is why you are able to get all the records at one place, remove one of them, and then convert it back to an RDD. But most of the time it will fail because the data size is huge. So we cannot use this approach all the time. We cannot convert our RDD to list, remove the one element, that is the header element, and then convert it into RDD again. So we can have another way. So here we are going to use filter to remove our first row. Okay, so if you see, we have the first row as our header, first record of this list. So what I'm going to do, if I take the first element of the RDD, it is going to give us the header row. So I'm going to store it in a variable named as first row. Okay, now this variable is having that record. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a filter transformation on the RDD1, and that is going to give me RDD2. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a lambda saying that for every row, check if row is not equal to first row. That means if the row is matching with header, we do not want that. If it is not matching with header, then only return it. So it's like if second row is not equal to first row, means if second row is not header, then it will be true and it will give us the second row onwards. Okay, now if I do rdd2 dot take 10. Okay, see, the header row is gone. We do not have header row anymore. Now all we have is data. Okay, so let me just take the count on first RDD that we created. So we have 250, okay, records, and if I do this count on RDD2, we will have 249 records. That means it removed the header without converting into list. So in this case there is no chance of having out of memory error. This particular problem is also asked in the interviews, that if you have an RDD, how are you going to remove the header out of it. So this way you can remove header and you will not have any problem. Now even if you give multiple files in text file API, like lookup1 comma lookup1.csv comma lookup2.csv lookup3.csv, then also if all of these files have the header in them, then also it will remove all the headers from all those files and only the records will remain. So in that scenario also this approach will work. Okay, so using the filter transformation, you can remove header without converting and taking, or without converting into list and taking all of the data that you have in the RDD on your edge node or client node. So that way you can save time also, and you will not be handling out of memory issues. So this is how you can use filter. So in summary, filter is going to take a function which is going to return a boolean expression, as opposed to map. In the map, you are going to do a transformation. The function is not going to be a boolean type. It is going to take certain action on the RDD. In this case, you are just filtering the records of the RDD. So the function that you are going to pass to filter should be of boolean type, so that should be able to decide which function, which record to give you as an output. Okay, so that was all for today's video. We will see the next transformation in the next video. Thank you so much. And if you liked this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and put down your suggestions and your feedback in comments. If you have any doubts, put down your doubts in comments. I will be happy to help and answer. Thank you so much.